Hey guys, it's Kingdom Orange 2 here, and welcome back to my channel. So I have waited such a long time to do this video, and now that season 3 is finally over, I felt like it was the perfect time to talk about things that don't make sense about Rainbow High. And as always, if you would like, feel free to check me out on Instagram and TikTok. It's the same username as YouTube, and I love chatting with you guys on there as well. Now the cartoon will definitely have more seasons, so in the future I'll probably need to make a part 2, but let's not waste any more time and jump right into it. Colors. At Rainbow High, each student typically wears and has hair that is like one specific color. Now this isn't always the case, as we can see with Avery Styles early on, but it's a common consensus. So originally, I believe that Rainbow High maybe had some unspoken rule about students dyeing their hair and wearing clothes that match their hair colors. I realize now this sounds kinda stupid, but just hear me out. The thing is though, this theory completely crumbles later on in the series when we learn that there are 2 other schools where students have monochromatic hair and clothes, Shadow and Pacific Coast High. As well as the fact that according to the junior high doll line, each Rainbow High student also had colorful hair and clothes in middle school. Since we also see characters like Lily Chang and Vanessa Tempo with natural hair colors, I can draw 2 conclusions from this. Either dyeing your hair and matching your clothes to it is a very, very popular trend in the Rainbow High universe, or people are just born with many different hair colors. I don't know, to me, everyone having similar hair colors and clothes just took away from Rainbow High being a special school, but I just have to wonder if there's any more significance to their colors or not. Runway Groups. At the end of the first episode of Rainbow High, the girls meet each other and they discover that they are all part of the same runway group, and that their first semester exam is to put on an entire fashion show. Now since the girls are all different majors, they are assigned different aspects of the project. Poppy does the music, Jade does the hair and makeup, and Skylar sews and creates the outfits. But here's my thing. The way in which the runway groups are put together doesn't really make sense. Some of the roles are essential, like there needs to be someone who can do set design, music, and wardrobe. But when Bella left, why did they replace her with another fashion design student if they needed someone to make the sets? If they hadn't already been completed before her expulsion, the group would have kind of been screwed. So I guess my question really is like, are the runway groups strategically put together or just kind of random? I don't think this is a super important detail, but I felt like even the writers realized it was a bit confusing because the idea of working in teams was kind of thrown out. It was heavily implied that after the first semester project, they would continue working together, but nobody ever did. Cheerleading Uniforms. In episode 10 of the first season, Lou Wright gives the girls the task of designing Rainbow's High new cheerleading uniforms. However, after the group struggles on picking one unique design for all of the cheerleaders, Sunny and her friends decide to make individual outfits for each cheerleader, but Lou Wright ends up loving the idea and congratulates the girls for breaking the mold. Now, while this idea sounds great, it's really impractical. Like, what school would pay for their cheerleaders to each have their own individual looks? There's also the fact that the girls made the uniforms to reflect the rainbow of talent that each of the cheerleaders have, but match the uniforms to themselves and not the cheerleaders. Like, Karma could technically wear Jade's uniform, but what outfit would Stella wear? What's also weird to me is that the girls wear the outfits again to host a pep rally for Aiden, even though none of them are part of the cheer squad. I don't know, I really love both the doll line and the webisode, but I feel like sports don't really belong in an art school. Honestly, however, that could just be from the fact that my art school didn't have any sports at all. Pacific Coast High. At the end of season 2, Bella, Cheryl, and Gabriella's team win the Hit the Road award during Radiant Week and are told by Lou Wright that they will be completing a very special assignment at Pacific Coast High. We also learn in an episode of The Vi Life that the school is actually part of a reality show called Pacific Coast. And at the very beginning of season 3, the Rainbow High girls decide to sit down and watch an episode of it, which centered around the students at Pacific Coast High meeting their brand new headmistress, Paris Hilton. The episode also ended with somewhat of a cliffhanger, with Margot telling Finn potentially how she feels. However, in the next episode, Bella, Cheryl, and Gabriella return back to Rainbow High, which really makes me wonder, what was the purpose of this story arc? Not only do we never see the 3 girls actually go to Pacific Coast High besides Bella dancing in the music video, but we never learn what exactly their special assignment was. There's also a couple things about Pacific Coast High in general that confuse me. We were told by Violet, as well as the back of the Pacific Coast doll boxes, that the classes are held poolside, which I interpreted as the school was close to the beach. But no, the classes are literally held on the beach, and Harper even points out that's why one of the former headmistresses quit. Now, besides classes on the beach being logistically impossible, I think a lot of these questions I have simply come down to animation budgeting issues. They probably didn't want to spend money on designing bathing suits for Cheryl and Gabriella or an entire new school. This would also partially explain why the cast of Pacific Coast High never wear normal outfits, but that's more of the doll designer's fault than the animators. I don't know, I just felt like we were teased that there was going to be way more of Pacific Coast High shown, especially since it was one of the largest and most expensive doll lines at the time. And please, somebody tell me why we haven't seen any of Lily Chang yet. I'm still waiting. Shadow High. The first question that always comes to mind with me when I think of Shadow High is, what on earth is up with the funny skin colors? I get the idea behind Shadow High was that all of the dolls were supposed to be grayscale, but I don't understand the decision behind making their skin colors unnatural. Now honestly, I have 500 questions as to why none of that makes sense, but what really bothers me is that the designers of Shadow High didn't even stick to their grayscale rules, because a lot of the newer characters from Shadow High have colorful hair and skin. I just find it very bizarre and a bit weird, especially since it's not like Monster High or Ever After High where some characters aren't human. Like, I would really want to know if the writers ever thought of creating an in-universe explanation for this, or why the designers made this decision. Maybe in the Rainbow High universe there's a genetic mutation which turns your skin funny colors, I'm not sure. Another thing that I never understood about Shadow High was their majors. So in the song School Across the Street, Shadow High calls Rainbow High the bougie school across the street, but if you ask me, it's Shadow High who's the bougie one. I mean, just by looking at their majors, they offer cosmetic chemistry, couture fashion design, special effects makeup. Those sound a lot more expensive than what is offered at Rainbow High. So I get that the designers were trying to differentiate Rainbow High from Shadow High, but this was a little detail I always wanted to point out. So the last topic I wanted to cover was Bella's expulsion. Now, since the rules at Rainbow High say that you can't take pictures of student work, Bella was expelled after sending a picture of her set design in for a chance to win an internship with Ramona Barnes. She does, however, return at the end of season 1, and we finally found out how she got back into Rainbow High. She tells Jade that she flew all the way to New York City and stole the picture from backstage at one of Ramona Barnes' shows. She then sent the photo back to Rainbow High and begged Lou Wright to let her return, who eventually agreed to let her back in, but made Bella perform community service. Now honestly, when I first heard this story, I thought it was a joke. Like Bella was actually covering the real story or something. But no, that was literally it. So after a whole season of wondering and waiting to find out how Bella came back to Rainbow High, this was the best the writers came up with. And besides that, the story doesn't even really make much sense. Like, how did Lou Wright even figure out she submitted the photo in the first place? Or how was Bella able to sneak backstage? And on top of that, Ramona Barnes was shown to be Lou Wright's good friend in the season 2 finale. So why wouldn't they incorporate that more into Bella's story? I don't know, I just found it kind of weird that Bella didn't have any sort of interaction with her, considering all that went down, but maybe Ramona Barnes was a last-minute addition into the script. A lot of these things that didn't make sense about Rainbow High are really on the nose. Like, I didn't really have to dig deep into the series to find confusing storylines or details. I don't think this means that the Rainbow High writers are necessarily bad at their job, but I don't know why they look past things that are super obvious. If you liked this video today and want to see more content in the future, make sure you hit that subscribe button and give this video a thumbs up. Thank you guys so much for watching today, and I will see you soon. Bye!